Okay, so this video is gonna be about talk about tattoos, tattoo talk. Okay, let's start. So the thing I want to talk about here is the way of, for example, what something is popular with a tattoo, and what is the reason for it, and so on. Okay, so the first thing I can say that's very popular is something that many people can recognize very quickly and see it in many different other places. For example, a human face is everybody see a human face, or if they see a human face, that is the most common thing to see. And that is the reason why this gets popular. And of course you can update it, you can put things around the human face, for example flowers, clocks, stars, a moon, a sun, space, and so on. You can do so many things, and that makes it so that it's very popular. The other thing is a heart and a dagger. When you have a heart and a dagger, you have one style, and always the original from something, and that thing people gonna update, copy, and change a bit so it looks like their own design, and so on and so on and so on and so on. And so we have a very much a box of tattoos that is accepted in some ways in society because of their image, because of people are used to see that image. And so, for example, when you do a tattoo of a superhero, you have Spider-Man, or you have Superman, because everybody knows these two heroes from each of their own comics. And that is also why a Spider-Man tattoo will get very popular, because they are famous already. They are famous from the start before the tattoo. So lots of famous TV shows, famous comics, famous motifs, always going to be very popular as tattoos because they are already famous. So what I mean with all of this is that we have a very specific, for example, if we go to unpopular things. So for example, and here also an important thing to understand is that if you have something that is very rare, this thing will maybe looks amazing, but this thing is not going to be as quickly as popular because it's rare to see for the common people. For example, I can give an example. You take a rose as a flower as a tattoo, the most common thing, and you take a flower from a very, very rare flower as a tattoo. I promise you that rose will always gonna be on top in the popularity polls because of most common thing to see. And I don't say that is bad or good, I just say that is how it works. So popularity for example, popularity polls for tattoos are always tattoos that is common for people to see. I don't mean that all of them look the same. I mean that everybody knows right from the start what this tattoo is symbolizing, what of the design is symbolizing. You don't gonna, if you have a dagger and a heart as a tattoo, all of the dagger tattoos almost looks the same because it's the same design of a dagger. if you have, for example, we say that you have a heart tattoo, and you have a rondel dagger as a tattoo in the heart as a tattoo, that the design of that tattoo, nobody will know because they don't know what a rondel dagger is. They're gonna think it looks very strange because of the handle of the dagger. And this is what I mean, because we have a very, if you don't know about different daggers and knives, you don't gonna understand why you have this shape of a dagger. And the same with same with arrows. If you have tattoos with arrow, you always will have the same kind of arrows. But if you look at it, how many different kinds of arrows exist around in the world, in different part of the world, for example, you know how many different shapes the tips have of the arrows. And this, I think is so fascinating with tattoos, that we have so many different flowers around the world with different shapes, different sizes, different coloring, but they always fall on the roses or the sunflowers. It's so interesting. Why it's so interesting that it's so limited with a part of a flower. So limited that we only get two types of flowers, but in different shapes of design, but just two shapes of flowers. I think it's interesting that something that is popular, everybody wants, because it's popular. This is what I think. I think it's interesting because of this. I think it's very interesting that it's almost like it's like a big boat, and everybody wants to be in this boat because this boat looks nice. But they don't want to try the other boats in the sea to see what this boat can show. And obviously tattoos are like a fashion statement, fashionable. It's like fashion, like you have a clock, you have a specific clothes on you, or it's very popular thing. And when something gets very popular, they put into the industry, and industry put it in a way that they think a tattoo should be, what it should be popular, what design should be looks. For example, with okay, and now we're gonna talk about a little about politics. About this kind of politics. So you have that notion. If you go into the Instagram posts of different tattoo artists, most of them will show most light-skinned customers, and because this is also something about the industry. If you go to like the model industry and photo modeling, most of them are with light skin, even in like South America and this kind of thing. And people have the notion that because you have light skin, your tattoo will look nicer if you have dark skin. Obviously that is nonsense. Obviously that is super nonsense to even think that. But you have even big tattoo artists have that notion. Even tattoo artists, really, really high tier tattoo artists, think that. But this is just because once big ones say that, everybody follow the big one. They don't question it. Obviously nowadays good tattoo artists knows how to tattoo people with darker skin with no problem, absolutely, obviously, because my tattoo artist can do it, and other good tattoo artists can do it. But it's just the popularity. It's not. They absolutely can, but it's about popularity. Because if you have this, okay, we say you have a one design with the sunflower, exactly the same. You put it on person with light skin, and you put that tattoo on the other one on a dark person with dark skin. It's exactly the same design. The person with light skin will always have more votes, And I know that people don't want to hear that. I know that people think that don't really want to hear that racism still exists in the world and in the tattoo industry, but that is true. I many times when I talk about this something, I try to always ignore this part because I don't want to put racism into tattoo industry, but that is absolutely racist. There's many type of racism in tattoo industry, and I don't say the tattoo artists are racist. No, I don't say that. I say some of them maybe are, maybe, but there is just the industry in the whole that is in some part is racist. How? But it's not because it's about tattoos. It's just because of generation of socialization of system of the skin tone. For example, when you talk about like dolls, like example, like dolls that children plays with. If it's one experiment, they have a white doll and a black doll. Everybody wants the white doll because they think the white doll is cute, is sweet, is friendly. The dark doll is not, they think, because of the system have fade them that way. And that is the same with tattoos, that people think that just because you see, most pictures you see is on light skin with tattoos on tattoo artist portfolios. People think that that is the way they should be. Is like you have to understand what tattoo originally come from places like in Hawaii, New Zealand. That people is not light skin, but just because tattoo is popular, because of the industry, everything changed, and now people think that tattoos are something for a white person. That is the way they should be. So I know this sounds horrible to me, for me to say this kind of thing, and I don't really want to say this because I think it's very, very, very sad, because I really like tattoos. You know I like tattoos because I have many tattoos. I really like tattoos, but it's like when a tattoo artist, for example like Kat Von D, says lots of extremely stupid things, and she have a lot of racist, and I don't gonna just pretend that she's not racist. Like, if you are that big as Kat Von D, you have to understand that you have a responsibility about the industry. You cannot just hide behind your smink or this kind of product. You have to understand, if you say something very